All right, to do the manganese test, it's actually going to require us to do a little bit more with our black box, and it's also going to require a little bit more sample. All right, so first thing is in your black box, you have this mirror. So if you look at it, it's going to have two circles on the top. On the side, it's going to have a slanted mirror edge. We want it so that the mirror is facing you and the two circles are facing up towards those circle slots. So this is something that once you have put this in the right position, you may want to take a picture of it so you know how to do it in the future. So you want the mirror facing you with the two circles facing up. Then you want to grab that manganese periodate wheel and find the number side and put the number side into the black box. All right, and then go ahead and close it. So again, we can twist it from the side. First thing we want to do, just like before, is our control. So with our control, you just need to fill it up to about the middle line. This does not need to be exact. So I'm just going to pour into here until I get to the middle line. And then I will put the lid on it and put it into the control slot, which is on the left. You'll notice that this sits a little bit higher, and that is because the mirror is sitting and raising it up. All right, the next step, what we want to do is we want to grab a clean 50 ml beaker and we want to grab your 100 ml graduated cylinder. So for the iron, we use the 10 milliliter, but for the manganese, we want to use the 100 milliliter. We want exactly 30 milliliters of our solution. So I'm going to pour in until I get close to 30, and then I'm going to go dropwise. All right, I'm starting to get a little bit closer to 30, so I'm going to grab my pipette and I'm just going to start pipetting it in there because I want the bottom of the meniscus to be right at that 30. And it looks like I'm just a few drops short, so I'm going to add just a couple more drops. Remember to be at eye level. All right, that looks good. So I've got 30 milliliters. I'm going to take that 30 milliliters and I'm going to add it to my clean 50 ml beaker. Of course, make sure all of those drops transfer over into the beaker. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to go and grab our reagents. So we have two reagent bags for our manganese. The first one that we want to add is our citrate. So it's going to say buffer powder citrate type. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to grab one of those pouches. So just like we did with the iron, we want to use our scissors to open this up. And then I'm going to add that citrate to my 30 milliliters of my manganese. Now, it does not dissolve very quickly. And so what I recommend that you do is, even if you tried to swirl, it's probably not going to dissolve very well initially. So I recommend grabbing a glass stir rod from your drawer and holding it and then stirring the solution to try to get it to all dissolve. So this can take a couple minutes for it to dissolve, but it should eventually all dissolve. So it's a little less soluble than the phenanthrene that we used for the iron reagent. Okay, it's taken me about 2 or 3 minutes of stirring, but it is now all dissolved. Now I'm going to get my sodium periodate bag and I'm going to pull out one of those pill packets. So it should say sodium periodate on it. I'm going to cut that one open. And I'm going to add that to my beaker. You should notice a color change at this point when you add the sodium periodate. And then go ahead and grab that glass stir bar again, or stir rod again, and stir it. And at this point, you need to make sure that you wait at least 2 minutes. So set a timer and make sure that 2 minutes has passed. So even if it all dissolves really quickly, you still need to wait the 2 minutes for the color to fully develop. It's been 2 minutes and I can see that there's a nice color that has developed. I'm going to take this and add it to my sample tube. Again, fill it up to around the second line. In this case, the exact volume doesn't matter too much as long as you are around that second line, because remember, we accurately measured the volume that we put into this beaker. Put the lid on it, and then you can put it into our black box. So we've got our control on the left, and we've got our sample on the right. So what we want to do is the same thing we did before, where we're going to adjust our wheel until it looks like they are the same color or close to the same color. Okay, if I go too far, I'm actually going to go to where it's way too far. I can see it's much more pink on the left side than on my right side, so I can tell I'm way over. So I'm going to go down to a lower concentration, and now the colors start to appear to be the same. If I go too low, I can see it's much lighter on the left side than the right. So I'm just going to try to find a nice sweet spot where they appear to be about the same color. So that's actually looking pretty good. They're not exactly the same color, but it looks pretty similar. So this would be zero point 0.6, so that'd be zero point 0.6 milligrams per liter of magnesium. All right, in terms of cleaning up, the control one, you didn't add anything to it, so it could go back into your stock or it could just go down the drain. This sample here has those manganese reagents, and so does this one. So I'm going to just put those down the drain with some water and then rinse out your tubes. So all the tubes that you used, you want to make sure that you rinse those out with water. I'm just going to create a waste beaker here. So all of this is going to get rinsed with water that I used. Okay, now I am done, so I'm ready to clean up my box and put it away. So first thing, I want to pull out that manganese disc and put it back into my manganese bag. That is going to go into the back part of my blue box. Remember, we put that mirror in there. I'm going to pull the mirror out and then just slide it into the bottom so it is there for when someone needs it in the future. And close the box up, and that is going to go into my blue box. I'm going to pull this forward so you can see that I've got my black box and then my discs behind it. Then what I want to do is I want to take my 2 sample tubes and put them right in front of the black box. There are nice little spaces for that. And then put those 2 blue lids on top. There should be a square kind of jar that comes with it. That will go in the back corner. We didn't use that, but that's okay. And then you want to take each of your reagent bags, fold them over, and put them into the front. There will also be a page with instructions that will go into the plastic and put that into the box as well. And we've got everything in there. I want to make sure that my test tube brush fits. You can use that for cleaning out the tubes if you need to. And then close the box and you're done.